and 3 Swiss. And the boat on the right-hand side of the course, Ruderclub Baden and Club Luzern, they are Swiss too. Olivia Nax, Salome Ulrich, Nina Wettenstein and Eileen Roll. So we've got lots to talk about as to why there are 2 Swiss crews racing down the course. And you ever rode in a quad scull, Grace?
My only Māori medal, which is the New Zealand National School Champs, was actually in a women's quad, so not really since then. So my under-17 season, I think after that I thought actually sculling's not quite for me.
So it is this quad on the Buckinghamshire side, which is stroked by Aviron, and she is the cousin, would you believe, of Frederick Roll, who's stroking the yellow boat on the far side. And you don't often see Ina and Frederick in the same boat, even though they do make the fastest lightweight women's double in the Olympics. I'm not sure how well they get on, but they are racing here in different boats. And Ina is leading Frederic.
Yeah, I think it's always interesting when you know your competition. It adds a bit of extra weight and extra pressure on the race, and those sort of like internal bragging rights can actually make you a little bit more nervous than even racing people that you don't know. But yeah, it's been a good start from the quad on this side, but I think it's quite a strong headwind, so the race is long. It's going to be this part of the race that's really important, who pushes into a better rhythm that can kind of carry them through that tricky water in the middle.
Yeah, I think the Lausanne and Shawnigan Lake quad, Carling Zeeman here representing Shawnigan Lake, the 3 women in that yellow quad, just pushing back a little bit on this quad on this side, the Nacht, Ulrich, Wettenstein and Roll quad. I kind of would have expected them to be up. I mean, if you wanted to have a station, Grace, you'd choose that far side, wouldn't you, that the yellow boat's on?
Yeah, you would. I think just how the rain has affected the water over the last few days, and even the wind, the far station has potentially got that little advantage. But then again, you've still got to take what you're given, and I think we're seeing plenty of winners on both sides. But I think the crew on the Berkshire station has just pushed into potentially a slightly longer rhythm. I think when we were on that shot before, the stroke seat there was rowing so long, and you've got Carleen behind you, who's obviously a really tall rower as well, and you're allowing those people behind you to kind of get in, get their work on, and let everyone sort of play to their strengths.
Yeah, so the station wins as of the previous race were that Berkshire, the grandstand side, had 16 wins today, and Buckinghamshire, the far side. You can see that Swiss quad from Baden and Club Luzern, they had 12 wins. So not too different, but yeah, it's a feisty matchup between these 2 crews, and I think you're right about that Swiss quad pushing through. There's a great story there with Janine Gemalen in 2. Of course, she sculled in 2 Olympic Games in Rio and Tokyo, as has her great friend Carling Zeeman, the Canadian, been the Canadian single sculler in those games. But Janine devastated when her partner and coach, Robin Dow, who was coaching in Switzerland, tragically died. And she had to stop rowing. She tried to come back this year with Nina Wettenstein, but you know, she's done all sorts of things since. She founded that coffee company at Lucerne, which is just fantastic. And it's her crew at the moment in that yellow boat which are just pushing ahead. It will be a wonderful fairy story. And you know, Robin Dow, he coached Pat Mertz and Frederick Roll, who are at bow and stroke of that Swiss crew in the yellow boat. And I gather now Bill Lucas is looking after them. Of course, you know Bill.
Yes, Bill was a Cambridge coach, or as a Cambridge coach, and coached when I was there as well. So there's plenty of ties. And I think, touching on that, like, it shows the power of the rowing community, and even seeing Carleen come over and jump in with 3 Swiss rowers. It's really cool to see when people can kind of band together from all over the world, and then you bring in a coach, Bill, that's been at Cambridge as well. So it's a real mixture, and everyone's sort of coming together to support a good cause.
Yeah, and of course Bill was Robin Dow's assistant when he was in Switzerland. So I'm sure somewhere Robin Dow is looking down and smiling on this boat, the yellow boat, and wishing them well. But Baden and Club Luzern with Olivia Nacht and Eileen Roll, who were the Swiss Olympic lightweight designate double, they couldn't quite qualify this year. Salome Ulrich, she was in the double scull. Well, we're looking at the Lausanne and Shawnigan Lake. So in the bow, Pat Mertz, they're generally the women are in their 30s. She's 31. Janine, you can see with her head up there in a bunk. Carling Zeeman, the Z-Monster, they call her because of that feared finish that she's got. Nobody would want to be behind Carling Zeeman in a sprint finish, although she did just lose out to the Ukrainian and American quads at the final Olympic qualification regatta. And then in the stroke, Frederique Roll, the 31-year-old, as we've been saying.
Yeah, they've sort of just kept on edging out their lead. I thought there was a portion through a couple hundred metres ago where it looked like the crew sort of settled onto a similar base pace, and I was wondering if it could potentially change, but it looks like in this third quarter the crew on the Berkshire station is just sort of taking a few inches every stroke and doing it relatively calmly. It's just inching out. It doesn't seem like there's been a big change of speed or having to sort of go for that extra gear. It's just their base pace is just that little bit faster, and maybe they're rowing just that little bit longer, a little bit smoother, and a little bit, I think they've got a little bit more swing on it.
Yeah, two open weights in the middle of that crew. But there we see Salome Ulrich, world under-23 champion in the Swiss quad, in the crew on the left-hand side. The 23-year-old hoped to be in the Olympics this year. There we can see her. She's just in the 2 seat. That's the back of Olivia Nacht, the lightweight, in the bow seat. But Salome did a double with Sophia Meakin at Lucerne. Didn't go terribly well. She raced in Poznan. And it's Sophia who is the spare for the Swiss team, and Salome obviously has come here. Nina Wettenstein at 3 in that boat was doubling and hoping to qualify with Janine Gemellen for Switzerland, but they couldn't manage to get the first 2 places at the Olympic qualifier. So connections all the way through these 2 crews, Grace.
Yeah, they're very intertwined, and they probably know each other all quite well. But this is quite an interesting shot. You can see a lot of the gusts along the water, and you can show it to have that side sort of breeze, but you can also see there's points where there's not a lot of breeze, which makes it really hard for a coxless boat like this to judge their line, and they're doing a really good job to sort of track down that boom. But it's difficult when it's gusty and it's a side gust, and whoever's steering that boat's doing a very good job at the moment.
So it is Lausanne and Shawnigan Lake. Actually, they don't all come from Lausanne. I think that's Frederique Roll's club. Janine Gemellen, she rows for the Uster Club, a little tiny club in Switzerland. But Lausanne and Shawnigan Lake, that's what they're named as here. Resplendent in their white and blue striped shirts. They take this victory in the semi-final of the Princess Grace Challenge Cup ahead of Ruderclub Baden and Club Luzern. 2 Swiss crews basically racing each other, and so it's Lausanne and Shawnigan Lake will go on to race either Multi Boat Club or Shawnigan Lake, who are